Hollywood's biggest night is almost here. The 94th Annual Academy Awards, aka the Oscars, airs this Sunday night, March 27th on ABC. And if you haven't quite caught up on all of this year's nominated films, don't worry, we've got you covered. Just say Oscars into your voice remote to access our curated collection of celebrated cinema, beginning first with 2022 nominees like Licorice Pizza, Dune, Encanto, and West Side Story. So if you click that tile at the top of this destination, you can explore the nominated films in each category, including Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Actor, all the way down to categories like Best Sound, Best Visual Effects, Best Hair and Makeup, and Best Original Song. The Oscars destination also features a collection of Oscar movies that are free to you, included with your services, and a curation of 2022 Oscar nominees on each streaming service. So if you're wondering, where can I watch nominated films like Drive My Car or King Richard, this collection will show you that they are currently available on HBO Max. And you can see which Oscar nominees are on Hulu and Prime Video and Disney Plus and Netflix, because Netflix has a ton of them. So really, really helpful, easy way for you to find everything you're looking for. And if that isn't enough for you, or you've already watched all of this year's nominated films, the Oscars collection also features rows of past winners in 10 different categories. So you can, as Scott would say, live your Oscars fantasy. And so, Liz and Scott, this year's most nominated films are The Power of the Dog with 12 nominations, Dune with 10, Belfast and West Side Story with 7 each, King Richard with 6, and Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, and Nightmare Alley with 4 each. Are there any films you're hoping win big this Sunday night? Liz, I'm going to start with you.
Oh gosh, I don't have a favorite film. Is that horrible? Like, I don't necessarily this year. I'm more excited about, if I could sort of like pivot, and Scott, you could talk about yours, but I'm most excited to see, we don't talk about Bruno being performed. I cannot wait to see that, to hear it, to, just all the things about that. So, yeah, I mean, Encanto being the favorite film, but I know that it wouldn't, but I wish it could. But Scott, what about you?
Oh wait, before we jump into Scott, real quick,
Oh.
because Liz, we had this conversation about Encanto, and we don't talk about Bruno. And I had told you that I was at like Target and saw a child singing it up and down the aisles, and I was like, I don't have kids. I mean, I still love Disney and Pixar movies and animated films, but I haven't seen this one, and I know like kids are really obsessed with this song, and I don't get it. But you gave me like a really great explanation of what this song is all about for other people here who haven't seen it. I'd love to hear about that again.
Yeah, okay. So I think what is most exciting about this film, and if you haven't seen it, please go out. It's not just for kids, right? I think most adults are being forced to watch it, but then watch it on their own accord as they've watched it multiple times. But I think for us, as a Latino family, I think what was most, important about the film is that this is a younger girl who did not get the powers that that usually come down from her family, and they get handed down to the youngest members of the family, and she didn't have this seen superpower. And I think what is really great about the film is that it is showing the younger generation really not just conforming to things just because that's how they've always been, or not accepting people the way that they are when they are toxic and or hurtful, and it happens within our own families. So I think it's a whole lot deeper than just obviously a cartoon. Bruno specifically is one of the uncles who actually has a gift of foresight, so he could see things into the future, and so he saw things about the family that the grandmother and and the rest of the family, but really the grandmother, who's the matriarch of the family, was very upset about and sort of shunned him away. And so nobody talks about Bruno. Like, we don't talk about Bruno. It's almost like he doesn't exist. You later find out where it is that he lives, and he doesn't live too far, so not to give away the movie, but he's still a very important part of the family, actually one of the most important parts of the family, because he had foresight and they really just didn't like what he said, and so he got shunned because of the visions that he had. So great movie, and thank you for allowing me to expand on that. But it is such a great movie, and it is so much deeper than just a cartoon, and it's also very catchy, and yes, it's just overall great. So did I tell you I liked Encanto?
Yeah. I mean,
can you tell?
I love that. I thought that We Don't Talk About Bruno was a song about that movie that Sacha Baron Cohen made because it's just so awful. We
Oh
don't
my
talk
god!
about Bruno.
Oh my god! Hateful movie. Hateful.
So
Liz, how
bad.
many times do you think you've watched Encanto since?
Oh gosh. And my kids are older, right? My youngest is 13. So at home, we've at least watched it 5 times. And then we finally got together with the extended family, and the number one request was to watch Encanto. And we watched it probably 2 or 3 times. It was just running in the background the whole time we were all together. So yeah, and having a total sing and dance fest the whole time.
Love it. So safe to say
that.
that you will be on board for their sing-along version that's coming out, I think, soon, or has come out.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming soon, I think.
It is coming soon,
yeah. Coming up soon.
Scott, what are you hoping wins big this Sunday?
So I haven't actually seen this one yet, but I've only heard amazing things, mostly from you, but also from like other people. I think Coda, on principle alone, deserves all the awards. I think, authentic representation of marginalized communities is super, super important. So, and it 1000% deserves the platform that it has at the moment. But outside of that, Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye, come on. Iconic.
Yeah, I think that was nominated for Best Hair and Makeup, I think, ironically.
It should be, because spot on. Seriously. I mean, she just looks like a completely different person, and she really, really nails Tammy Faye. So
I always love that, when you see these films that get nominated for hair and makeup or special effects or something like that, and you see Ryan Reynolds' movie Free Guy is nominated for an Oscar. You go to the Oscars destination, you see Free Guy, and you're like, what the hell did that get nominated for? But it happens every single year. Right, exactly. Best catering.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that's
not a big fan of Free Guy, David?
People love Free Guy, but you don't think of it as a traditional Oscar nominated movie. And I think that happens every year where you see David Spade's Dickie Robertson former child star, some stupid Ace Ventura has been nominated for an Oscar, and you're like, wow, because it had the best sound editing or whatever. Anyway, off on a tangent. You mentioned it already, Scott, but Coda, I'm really rooting hard for it. If you're not familiar with what it's about a young woman who's the only hearing member of a deaf family, and her struggles to keep her family's fishing business alive while pursuing her own dreams of attending Berklee College of Music. And as Scott mentioned, the film stars several deaf actors, including Marlee Matlin and Troy Katzur, who became the first deaf male actor to win the BAFTA, SAG, and Critics' Choice Awards for Supporting Actor. So I think if any movie upsets any of the big titles this year, it's going to be this one. It's getting a lot of momentum going into the Oscars. It's just such a wonderful feel-good movie. There's a moment at the end that had me absolutely ugly crying on my couch, she said it's there up at the balcony. It's just really, really got to me. And I'd also like to quickly plug the Norwegian movie The Worst Person in the World, which is nominated for Best International Feature Film. It's this really dark romantic comedy about a woman who essentially doesn't know what she wants in any aspect of her life, from her dating life to her professional life. It's a little bit different. If you don't mind reading subtitles, I think it's my favorite foreign film of 2021. So if you've seen everything or just want something different, I highly recommend that. Any other thoughts on the Oscars before we roll along?
think
I
you
really
nailed
am
it.
excited to see what everyone's wearing, all the music. Yeah, I'm excited for the fanfare of it all. So looking forward to it for sure.
Always a good time.